you and your family and your loved ones. If you are having a good time, a party or anything, congratulations, and I wish you well as the whole team from Select for Fun. We love you so much. Viewers, please do make sure to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend that we are live every single morning from Monday to Friday. The first show comes your way. We are a big team. I'm not working alone today.
Oh yes, on such a day we say thank God it's a Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show wherever you are catching us live. It's a big pleasure to have you on board, and my name is Simon Chris Makanga. Well, it's a good morning. The weather is a little bit chilly, however, expected to be hot like it was yesterday, and that means that whatever you're doing, make sure that you put something nice. Especially the fact that it's a weekend. Don't mind my soft body when I sweat. Like in here it's a bit cold, but for you who's stepping out, make sure you put on something a little bit light. So today being a Friday, we are going to be scrutinizing those big stories that made rounds of headlines yesterday, and one of them is Dominic Ongwen. Okay, Dominic Ongwen, who was sentenced yesterday by the ICC, and then we shall also be looking at other big stories. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm not so good because of a tweet that came in from the MTV Best official Twitter handles that said Mama Awards have been postponed over COVID-19. It is very, very confusing, especially because we had already prepared ourselves for such a very big event, one of a kind that was going to change, of course, the history of Ugandan music in a way or the other. However, it has been postponed to a date that will further be communicated by the Mama Awards themselves. Now, we should remember that it was going to be the first time that Mamas were going to be hosted down here in Kampala, Uganda. And it was really a national trial. I don't know why the people decided to cut it out, because we don't know when the COVID-19 pandemic is going to be on seizure. However, vaccines are starting to be given as soon as March this year, and so we hope that by I think mid-year, July, June, we've already sorted this thing out so we can have our Mama Awards, because hey, this is a big chance for us as Ugandans in the entertainment industry, and I do hope that DJ Khaled also rethinks his decision of backing out on this one and decides to rehost it like he had earlier planned. So that is one of the stories that got me, not so happy this morning.
By the way, a little bit, yes. For some people who do love entertainment, it's a big loss. But for some of us who follow current affairs and a little bit of politics, probably we are losing out as a country, because we are going to get lots of foreign money coming into the country.
The economy was going to be boosted.
Tourism was also going to be one of the sectors that were going to benefit from Mama Awards.
Yeah.
However, it is not cancelled but postponed.
Yeah, so we can only wait and see when exactly this will come out. Schools to reopen as well. That's from President Museveni, the president of Uganda, who gave an address yesterday. Schools will be opening in March, of course, for semi-candidate classes on March 1st, to add on to the bunch of other candidates that will be already in school. Now, of course, President Museveni commended the fact that much as there are very many people in schools, there's none of them that has died of COVID-19. And even if you look at the statistics of who got COVID-19 in the students, you'll find out that there are not very many people. If I can read for you, since we opened, out of the 1.3 million learners, only 257 have reported with coronavirus, and nobody has died. That was a success, and as a result, from a calculated risk, said the president of Uganda yesterday. So it is a great pleasure that he tried to combat this disease as far as students are concerned, as people of this country, and if we, of course, sleep on them, they will lose their lives, and the country will be at a loss. So we do thank God that the president got wisdom early enough and said, let me send home all the 1.5 million students were sent home, and the 257, yes, the 257 students that got coronavirus were able to heal from it, and no student has died of coronavirus. That is a plus for Uganda, ladies and gentlemen. So right about now, we will take a look at our press review, starting with the new vision, where Museveni explains how universities will run. That is, and our top story, which is semi-candidates back to school on March 1st. Like I've been telling you, this is the new vision. Of course, there are many top stories where Busoga sugarcane growers making molasses for exports. MPs okay Lusanja compensation. Electoral Commission responds to Kyagulanyi according to his petition. Then free connections to resume. Amuriat Besigye back Kyagulanyi up in his petition as well. Dominic Ongwen convicted of war crimes. He was convicted of 61 crimes over the 70 that he was earlier suspected to be involved in. Some of these include murder, defilement, rape, bribery, and very many others that we shall take a look at. That's my front page. Let's take a look at the Daily Monitor.
On today's Daily Monitor, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that have just joined us this early morning, these are paper looks today on Friday. Bobby demands audit, rejects talks. Okay, that is on today's Daily Monitor, and it says that National Unity Platform Party leader Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu tells visiting European Union delegation that he wants an audit of the January 14th general elections results just days after he took the matter to the Supreme Court. That story is on page number 4 on today's Daily Monitor, just in case you are interested in following up on this story. However, I don't want you to be the kind of people who walk on the streets, then look at the street vendors selling newspapers, and then you just look at the headlines and you walk away. Make sure you grab yourself a copy and then read more about this particular story. That's if you do have interest in that. And then, still on the front page, ICC convicts Ongwen to pay LRA, Lord's Resistant Army victims. People that succumb to his actions. They are going to be compensated. That's what we shall be looking about. We shall look into it later on. And then music or ballad industry ponders after a heated election. That is on page 22. There's really nothing much on today's front page of Daily Monitor. Nation address, more classes to reopen on March 1st. Still on today's front page of a Daily Monitor. Flip your first page and let's see.
All right, let me see what's next. Wow, I'm seeing members of parliament. Know your member of parliament elect, and I'm surprised that the first picture I'm seeing is one of Kahindo Tafire, who is from Ruhinda County, Mitoma. He's one of the few people that were not ousted out of parliament. So it is a very big surprise because he has been in power for some time. So you would expect that people got tired of him, especially because he's a man who likes Ntalo. So you would expect that, people are tired of him.
Honorable Saida Bumba said yesterday? She said that Parliament has been filled up with young youth.
What did they expect? What did these people expect? Anyway,
so according to what she says,
yes,
that Parliament, let me even say this in Uganda for people to really understand what I'm saying, that she said, Parliament ejudemu abana abato, so wait to take out Parliament.
And that brings us to the point where Amama Mbabazi and Rebecca Kadaga decided, I think that was early 2019, where they said they need a two-tier parliament. They're going to make a parliament that they called one of Babategev, then the other one where people can go and shout. I don't know what exactly that's supposed to mean, but what I know is that there's plans to make two-tier parliaments. Those things appeared in the news sometime, and they're still underway. We don't know how they're going to plan it out and make sure it works out for the better of Ugandans, because divided we fall, united we stand. That is always a rule of nature, that if you are divided, it's very, very hard to stand, and when you're united, it's easy for us to stand. I hope that they put that into consideration before coming up with a two-tier parliament. And I don't know how they're going to decide who is going to be in the first parliament and who is going to be in the second parliament. We shall wait on them to see what they say. Also on the third page of the New Vision, Kyagulanyi's election petition incompetent, says Byabakama. You know that Kyagulanyi's lawyers were put off by Museveni's lawyers, who said their petition was very shallow. Museveni's lawyers called Kyagulanyi's petition very shallow and lacking, because the lawyer, I think it's called Tumwebaze, he came out and said yeah, he's called Jet Tumwebaze, who came out and said Chagulanyi's petition is nothing. Like, they thought they're going to spend sleepless nights looking at the petition, trying to analyze it and see what to do about it. And he was so disappointed that they gathered around to read it overnight and just found out that it was a wastage of paper. I don't think he should have sounded like that, because I mean, this is a former presidential candidate who decided to file a petition. Why would you call it useless just like that? Why would you, render it null and void before even understanding his point? But of course, lawyer Tumwebaze's argument was that Chagulanyi's lawyers should have done better at presentation of this petition. That's what even the Electoral Commission is coming out to say, that Chagulanyi's election petition is incompetent. That was the Chief of Electoral Commission, Simon Byabakama.
Well, if I do flip my first page on that, this is the front page and happens to be also the first page. So when I flip my second page on today's Daily Monitor, this is what I see. There is quite a lot of information that I want to share with you on today's second page of our Daily Monitor. In the news, Bobby Wine lawyer served Museveni. This story also did feature yesterday, indicating that INUP lawyers served the petition to General Kaguta Museveni through the Secretary General of NRM, Justin Kasulu Mumba. Then, Stella Nyanzi, the Uganda academic camp political activist, has fled to Nairobi, Kenya for an asylum. That story also did feature yesterday. This is my area of interest, and it also features in editor's pick. This is what the editor of this paper picked out, saying that conspiracy theories, mistrust, and patchy communication have contributed to flourishing of skepticism about COVID-19 vaccines in African countries. Experts say posing potential dangers to future immunization campaign. This page is on number 31, page 31. So if you want to read more about the conspiracy theories and how Africans are reacting to the COVID-19 vaccines, definitely you better grab yourself a copy. And then, still on the second page, they showed you a picture from the archive of Joseph Kony and his other fellow rebels while they were in the bush. And still on now, if I look at the second page, the third page, it's seen to live with poor, it's seen to live with poor, Museveni tells pastors. This story happened yesterday. Pastors led by, several pastors led by Pastor Robert Kayanja of Miracle Center Cathedral. They went to congratulate General Kaguta Museveni in the victory he achieved on the 14th of January last month. And I do remember the remarks made by President Museveni. He asked pastors to join him in the government, to join his government in the fight against poverty. And also Pastor Robert Kayanja urged his fellow pastors not to pastor, followers or congregation that is broke. Okusumba abantu nga baavu tekigattako, nga abasumba mwe muli bagagga naye nga ate abantu musumba baavu. It doesn't add up.
It's so funny because
but that's a norm in Uganda, by the way.
Yeah, I think
people open up churches,
yes,
and the pastors become rich on a daily,
yes,
but the congregation is broke.
Some congregations are rich, just like you've seen. I don't think Pastor Kayanja can come out to say that, yet his congregation is broke. Maybe some of what makes them rich, the 1,000 that you put in that you drop in the box every time you go to church, or
it depends how,
or the
how
anointing,
big,
because I don't think God is broke. I don't remember God being broke. I think God is the Almighty who gives and whatever. So I think he's rich. If you're working for him, then you're working for a rich person. And I don't expect you to be broke if you're a pastor.
Let me share with you this story.
Yes.
A couple of years back, I went to a church 3 times. Those 3 times, the pastor was only preaching about giving out money.
Okay.
How? The whole sermon was about giving money, collecting money.
How? Because
tuweze 11 neziwera 11 mukanana tuweze 12. So the whole sermon was all about that.
Kumi na gumu is even small. I remember I attended as a trained, I won't say investigative journalist, but somebody who wants to do investigative journalism. I went to Pastor Kayanja's church one time. This is my story. I went there personally. So when we sat, it was a Wednesday, I think.
Okay, not attacking.
No, I can't. Why would I attack an anointing? So we went to church, and this guy says we need 6 million shillings because we need to do a crusade somewhere. I don't remember where. So so we need this money. So people started giving. We gave. There was 2 million already. Then one person comes from the congregation and says, I have 4 million. And the guy got the 6 million to do his crusade. Just like that, I was seated there. It was like a miracle happening before my eyes. And then when he came back to preach, he said, that's why I'll never pastor anywhere else apart from Miracle Center. So I was wondering, why would he say that's why he will never pastor anywhere else? Because his congregation, his flock understands him and can give him this money every time he asks, or because if he pastors, he decides to pastor like in a born again, in an Anglican church, this won't happen easily. I didn't get that, but that was the story from that side. Also in this story where the first lady was there, Janet Museveni, but as usual,
she didn't want to give her the money.
She remained calm.
She didn't want to give her the money.
I have no idea because I was not there. But the pastors pledged to join government in efforts of addressing the issues of wealth creation. And of course, when one of the pastors stood up to talk, he was like, so this relationship between us and the government and the NRM is not going to stop here. We are going to be one solid team. I don't know if I understand that exactly, because what I remember is that the pastors are supposed to pray for our leaders, yes, but they're not supposed to be their funds.
Pause a little bit. I have always had this question, ladies and gentlemen. We have prophets in this country, okay? Yes. They've always prophesied, or especially during the 31st of December, the crossover.
Yes.
They've always prophesied, saying that ABCD is going to happen this year, okay?
Yes.
If they come up with a prophecy that is maybe security oriented, okay? How is government supposed to take that prophecy?
First of all, let's take a look at some of the prophecies. I don't know many prophets out there, but there's one prophet that I know who talked about the Mogadishu attacks, those planes that crashed in Somalia. He warned government. He even tried to make some calls and said, guys, God has told me these planes are going to crash. And people didn't give him time. The planes went and crashed. And then that's when they opened their eyes and, hey, so what do we do now? That was one incident. Another incident is the Chadondo bombings. Guys, this prophet came out and said, there's going to be a bombing in Ethiopian village and Chadondo. Please, security.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
Did you talk about the particular places, or you say they're going to be, Kampala is going to be bombed?
All right, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not quoting.
No, was it particular about the places that Chadondo?
He said Kampala.
In Kampala.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when he said that, still the security organs didn't take it so seriously until the bombings happened. We lost people's lives. People lost their loved ones, and then that's when people opened their eyes and said, okay, let's give this man an ear. But what I remember was that, or what I want to say is that if people's lives are involved, and hear somebody saying, God told me. We are not in his bedroom to know that God really told him. But if it involves security, if it involves somebody's life being lost, we should give them an ear, at least to hear what they have to say about it.
How much influence can they bring in the governance of the country? And how much can they be heard, according to you?
Let me tell you something. Spiritual leaders are one of the most influential people in Uganda here. Whether it be in the side of darkness or light, whether it's Basamize or a true man of God. I've not said every man of God is a true man of God. There are some who are true, others are not true. Just like any other profession, there are masqueraders and people who are professional.
So
just
Kara, do you buy the idea of us having the trustworthy prophets, like you call them? At least once in a while, we call them who will get, okay, to Bagambe. Prophetic Gundi. Prophetic Gundi. Prophetic Gundi. Tubatekewo ku line. Tubabuuze. Tugenda mu kalulu. What do you see?
that would not make any sense, because we are not the ones who tell God what he should tell us. We cannot judge God. We cannot be like, okay, God, tell us this. No, he's the one who says, I'm going to reveal this if I want. If I don't want, I will not reveal it. For me, that's how I respect God. I cannot start bombarding a man of God and saying, okay, prophesy this, elections. If God feels like revealing, he should reveal. But what you've said should happen. Once in a while, we should have them, even on TVs, and they tell the people what to do. Osanga, they will help us in one way or the other. We're going to be getting traffic updates from Hasif Sechunga, who is in the field already at Bombo Road stationed to give us live updates. What's going on there? Is there a lot of traffic jam? How is the Friday doing? Are there very many people? Now, as you can see on our screens, there are not so many people on the roads like you're going to be seeing later. We're going to bring back Hasif Sechunga, who is already in the field to tell us exactly what is happening down in Bombo Road. As you can see on our screens, the cars are not so many, I think, because it's a Friday and some people are a bit off. As you can see as well, the weather is a bit chilly, and remember that there was a prediction from the weather forecast team that there's going to be some rains during now to April to March, so start to prepare in that line. But as you can see, the traffic, there's not even many people walking, I mean pedestrians, and so I will
now let's start right away. Now, where I'm standing currently, we have first of all, we had to move around to see how traffic is in the city, and we have found that different points, different junctions, different roundabouts, they are moving on smoothly. There is no traffic today. We think it being a Friday, maybe that's why it being a Friday and a weekend, most of the people don't work on Fridays. Their weekend starts over from Friday until it's a Sunday. Now that is maybe the reason why there is not a lot of traffic today. Even where I'm standing, I'm at Yusuf Lule, and those that know Yusuf Lule are near Fairway Hotel, just immediately after you cross over from the golf course. That's where we are standing currently, and that's why my cameraman is pointing and trying to show you how everything is moving on. Now currently where he is pointing, those are the cars that are exiting the city and then entering the city through Yusuf Lule, connecting to Bombo Road up to Bombo Road up to Mulago Junction, and then up to Kawempe, and then you'll be connecting to the other side of Matuga and Waise. So there is no traffic. Even the traffic lights are working very well, but there is no traffic, as you can see, but only those, as you know, that the city is always filled up with a lot of people trying to do their businesses and trying to make a move around to see what is currently going on. Those that are coming from the city and those that are coming from Kololo, those are coming from the other people that are coming from Kololo, from the other side of Golf Course, they are moving on very well. There is no delay actually. The only delay that is getting them to be caught up a little bit is like 1 minute to 2 minutes, and that is when the traffic lights get to light up green. As you know, those who know this particular place, those who know this particular point where I'm standing, there is normally no traffic officers. There is no traffic officers because it's an organized, traffic junction. It's an organized junction with traffic lights in time and on time to let people go and stop, to give other people room to also set for where they are going. On my extreme left, these are the cars that are going Seziba Road. It is totally empty. So for whoever is going to be using Seziba Road in 5 or 10 minutes, you please hurry, because there is no jam and you could take your time. For those that are moving on from the city, that is when you're branching off. When you're branching off from Ginger Road, Ginger Road Junction, and then you come to the ring of you cross over to Garden City Ring, and then you'll be crossing over to this side of Yusuf Lule. There is no jam. Cars are moving on very well. Where my cameraman is pointing, that is where people. That is Chadon Road. There is totally no jam. Those that are going to to court, there is no jam. So you could hurry and then get to hit the road and then kickstart your day with no jam and no total traffic here at the side of excuse me, at this side of Yusuf Lule Junction, Yusuf Lule Road. As you know, this side, you can see the signpost around. They don't allow truckers to move to this side. It being a road that is for passengers, a road that is for use, not for commercial, maybe for traffic routes, for business. So that's why they don't allow traffic. They don't allow cargo cars or even trucks to move around this side. It's a very busy side, a very busy road, but with no traffic. There is always some noise coming on from Woody, and that's why maybe they don't allow such cars and such business traffic to move this side. Boda riders, every day we give you a caution when you're sitting on a boda, please make sure that you ensure your safety. Even after the safe border regulations are coming up, you remember in our topic of the day, the safe border new terms and conditions. So away from the safe border, let's talk about generally the motorcyclists, the border men. When you're sitting with those people, when you're trying to, when you're with those people, most of the times they try to rush. Most of the times they try to not follow or maybe abide by the rules and regulations of the traffic. So when you're sitting with those people, when you're using the border, be cautious about your life. Tell them you are in charge of your life. Tell them don't ride on a wrong lane. Don't ride on a wrong lane. Don't overspeed, and make sure that you hood before before getting or rounding in a corner. So where I'm standing currently, I'm still here at Seziba Road. Those that are accessing the Seziba Road, as you can see the cars back in my background, there is no jam totally. And this does not only happen here. We have traversed, we have moved around different junction, we have moved around different roundabouts, and there is totally no jam. Maybe we could take it being a Friday, or maybe we could think that perhaps people already are already at their workplaces, maybe woke up very early in the morning. But currently, that is what is happening in the world of traffic. And back to you, Simon. Thank you so much. It has been the traffic updates. My name is Hasif Sechiunga.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Hasif Sechiunga, for the traffic updates, and we always do count on you, and I do believe and trust that you're doing a great job, and you're doing a lot of justice to so many Ugandans who are still at home, and those that are planning to hit the city. That is it for you. You always catch it here on STV, the first show. We update you on which streets you should take and which streets have traffic, or where traffic is a bit desperate. But for now, we are going to be taking a very short break and then return with what's today in history. For now, it's a good morning.